Yeah, because it's not playing yet, fuckhead. Hello, everybody, and welcome to Nerdstalgia Live. I'm your host, Tim, alongside my co-host tonight, Richard Zampino and Kyle Showtime Shown. How we doing
How we
tonight?
living the dream, man. Happy Monday. Happy that Monday Night Raw to everyone.
Monday Night Raw, which we are all missing. So I appreciate all of you who decided on your own fruition. Fruition? That's the word, right? Fruition to be with us tonight rather than WWE. So thank you.
Cheers.
What are you drinking in the red solo?
Drink to that.
Got a little blue moon light sky, watching the cows.
What is the light sky?
It's got less calories than the typical blue moon.
You watching your figure?
A little bit, trying.
Getting ready
Just
for
did a weekend.
summertime?
Oh yeah, did a little bit of a Chick-fil-A binge down in Charlotte this past week. So, watching the cows where they count.
And you just got back, right? What did you spend the weekend down in North Carolina?
Yeah, a weekend getaway turned into a week excursion with my boy James, who's watching tonight. What's up, James? I was using his background last week, so we're back. Had a hell of a time. Went to a lot of barcades.
He's got a nice vacuum. Nice sounding vacuum they have down there.
Is that a vacuum? What's going on there?
He does.
Yeah, but went to a lot of barcades. Had a lot of great times down there, man.
You went to some arcade bars, right? You said that was pretty prevalent in their arcade bars. See, that's something that we're all we live out in upstate New York, for those of you who don't know, and that's something I think might want to look into that.
Oh, for sure, man. There's nothing better than drinking beers while playing Simpsons arcade game, NBA Jam, Turtles in Time. So yeah,
hell
awesome.
Yes, hell yeah. I just got goosebumps. I want to say hi
back to being. Yeah,
we got some people out there. I want to say hi. It looks like Faded Montages this year. Barcades.
That's right.
Yes,
that's right.
That's a great name too. I don't know if I've been living under a rock, but I love that.
No, they have one in New York City. I'm going to be down that way in a couple weeks. Plan on checking it out. I'll report back.
Hell yeah. Yeah, Tyler Cohen says Arcadia in Portland. Check it out. That's also a great name considering isn't Acadia National Park out near there? Or am I just getting that name completely wrong? Tara Spencer is here. Hey, Tara.
What's nice is some of them are free play too, so you don't even have to pump quarters in.
Okay.
Yeah.
That's awesome. I don't know of any. Do you know of any in upstate?
No, I'm not aware of any.
Let's start a business, bro.
That's what I'm saying. We might as well.
Hey, don't give away all our secrets.
I know it. We got Dan Woods joining us here tonight. What's up, Dan? And Faded Montages, Bagel Cookies. Oh, that's who it was. I didn't know. All right. What's up, Bagel? So, Rich, how was your weekend, bud?
Not too bad. I guess the highlight and low light was Quantumania. It was a highlight until it wasn't.
What do you mean
low light? The highlight?
It's a little disappointing, but I think spoilers. We made we might get into that a little bit later, right?
Yeah, I mean Rich and I we did a little breakdown. You can find it on our channel. Any discussion of Quantumania or anything that's out in the theaters, like we're gonna try to keep that spoiler free on the show. So if you want like a real deep dive and real like septic tank man deep dive like into the real shit. And by the way, Have you guys seen Septic Tank Man? Do you know what that is?
Oh, yeah, I think I know.
It's almost like Two Girls, One Cup level. And don't worry, we're not going there. But if you know, you know. So I'm scrolling on TikTok earlier today, as you do. And I'm scrolling through. And
Today's youths.
Yeah. So I'm scrolling through and I see a video, and it was a post of an article, and it said, this guy, I don't know where he's from, but he apparently this guy pays people $150. This is no joke. This is no exaggeration, to go to your home and bring his equipment, GoPro, whatever he has set up. Okay. Brings his equipment into your septic tank where he has like a wetsuit on, and he swims in your septic tank and everything that's in your septic tank. And he splashes it on his face, the whole 9 yards. It was the worst thing I've seen, I think, since Two Girls, One Cup. Dan Wood says, I thought it was a superhero and got excited, but I'm good on actual septic, man.
Yeah, we're good on that reality.
So, yeah, I mean, no real way to segue out of that.
No, there sure isn't.
But we've got, and Tyler Cohen says, this is a more positive review than Quantumania, and you are not wrong. For those of you who've seen Quantumania, you don't need to hear any more from us. I mean, it was, in my opinion, and I don't mean to put it down, obviously, Marvel, they do the best they can, but this was a steaming pile of shit that you would find in Septic Man's dreams at night. So
there you go. There's a segue.
I rated it a 4.1. Rich, I think you gave it, what, a 5.7?
5.7, yeah.
Kyle, I need your Portnoy scale rating.
4.6.
4.6. Okay, so we're all there. I mean, we're all pretty close.
No, it wasn't good by any.
It wasn't
any scale.
Well, with that being said, I mean, you can say there's a lot of movies where I've said wasn't great, but it wasn't terrible.
Mm-hmm.
I think it was pretty bad.
So I'm gonna reserve my final judgment until I see it again, because I think my initial reaction is definitely more of a knee-jerk emotional reaction, because I had such high hopes, because I am such a fan of the Ant-Man and Wasp characters, that it was kind of a gut punch. Once I see it again, which I will be doing this coming weekend, I will report back, and who knows, my score may drop. But
May, you think it's going to go up?
It's entirely
kudos
possible.
to you, man. Cheers to you for rewatching that piece of shit.
Yeah, I love handing Marvel my money.
Yeah, I mean, here's
favorite
the deal.
pastime of mine.
And we're gonna, we've got a really great discussion kind of on the agenda for tonight. I think you guys are gonna like it. And really, what it comes down to, and we can start with Marvel, but it's franchise fatigue. We've all experienced it. We've experienced it, whether, when we went to see Quantumania, you see the trailers for Fast and the Furious 10. It's like, what are we doing? You got Toy Story 5 coming out. Yeah, you got Toy Story 5 coming out. You got some of these franchises, you got Simpsons getting renewed for more seasons. It's like Halloween Ends that just came out. That was what, the 12th Halloween movie? I mean, at this point, when is it going to end? I mean, it'll end
when us idiots stop giving them our money.
Pretty much.
On the big TV, we're on the big screen. So Karen and Len on the big screen. How you guys doing? Mr. and Mrs.
Thanks for gracing us on the big TV. Appreciate you.
So, I mean, there's a fine line, right? I mean, because you can have, there's examples I can think of where you maybe got a movie or two, or you got a series that only had 2 seasons, 5 seasons, and you were kind of thirsting for more and you just didn't get it. And so there really is a fine line here. And I think more often than not, these franchises tend to overstay their welcome rather than leave at the right time and exit stage left when they are supposed to. And that's kind of what we're going to do a little bit of a dive into tonight. But before we do, I know, there's a lot of, if one good thing came from this pandemic and COVID, it's the entertainment. I mean, think about last year and this year and what's to come. As far as entertainment goes, when you look at the series, the movies on the docket that we have to look forward to, what a time to be an 80s and 90s kid, and B, just a fan of entertainment and binge watching shows, catching movies, relaxing. I mean, it pays to be a homebody.
Well, I think that's almost part of the problem. There's almost too much content. There is too much content to keep up on.
Is there?
And
though?
I think that yes.
Rich, I agree. There's a lot of quantity over quality out there, but they're going to bring some heat.
And it's not even quantity over quality. I think the problem is actually that there's so much quality content. It's tough to catch it all. And when there is so much quality content out there, it makes it harder to make a case for seeing things like Quantumania that are subpar at best. When, I just wasted 2.5 hours of my life. I could have watched, 2 or 3 episodes of a really fantastic show on Netflix or Hulu or HBO Max or whatever the case may be.
Yeah. And Dan says the people that actually create and write the material had some time to refine scripts and brainstorm. I think that may be a piece of it. But if you remember, I mean, at the very beginning of the pandemic in 2020, we were actually quite the opposite, and we were starved for content. When you look at the movies that were coming out in the series, there was nothing. And I think what happened is, and part of the reason anyway, why you're feeling the way that you are, and I think you are correct to an extent. There is maybe an overabundance of entertainment out there, and it is hard to keep up with all of it. But I think what happened is because there were so many delays in production, that what ended up happening is 2021 and even a little bit into 2022, you started to see everything that was on hold. It's like they kicked those floodgates open and we started getting everything that was kind of put on hold early on in the pandemic. So I think it's kind of a combination.
Right. And Marvel was having, an abundance of content dropping left and right. You had the Marvel VFX people complaining they're being overworked. You got crappy graphics and a lot of content, a lot of shows there. So, it's just, it all came out at once and they were just literally just scrambling. So, but we're going to reap the benefits this year for sure.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah. I can't get enough personally, and it takes a lot. With our main topic is franchise fatigue. It takes a lot to fatigue me when it comes to sitting down on my couch and watching something, especially.
We're horse for it, man.
Yeah, I mean, come on, like keep it coming. Keep it coming. There's certain franchises, and we'll get into more of that later, that could use a little bit of a timeout or a pause. But again, we do have some good stuff coming out. I know, Kyle, you would kind of talk to me earlier about some of the movies and some of the stuff that's kind of on the docket for the spring. Like, what are you most excited for? I already know your answer more than likely, but what are you most excited for coming out here this spring?
All right. Well, first and foremost, you're going to think it's a little weird, but Air from Ben Affleck, Matt Damon.
I don't think that's weird at all.
Yeah, man. I know we're more of the nerdy stuff, but I'm a hoops junkie, as you know. Yep. Michael Jordan, man, changing the game with the Air Jordan. Anything that Ben Affleck and Matt Damon collaborate on, all the way back to Good Will Hunting's been gold. Sign me up, man. I'm going to be there opening night.
I'm not going to lie. Like, you sent me that clip of the trailer, maybe a week ago, and I watched it. And I was like, all right, that'll be cool. And then I saw it as a trailer when we went to see Quantumania. Okay. And man, I am way more excited for that than I thought I was. That looks fantastic. Have you seen the trailer, Rich?
I saw it ahead of Quantumania as well. I mean, those two, anytime they collaborate, it's usually pretty quality. So certainly one to look forward to. I'm not a huge basketball guy, but I'll certainly go take a look at that one.
Hell yeah.
Like normally that'd probably be like a straight to streaming, but you got Affleck, you got Damon involved. Like I'm sitting out in the theater, man. I just can't wait.
Yep.
Yeah.
I agree.
Another one. So switching to the nerd side, 65, man, 65. Like you talk franchise. Yes.
Is that the Adam Driver one?
Yep. You talk franchise fatigue, how Jurassic went out. Well, we're getting to that topic, but 65 looks amazing. How humans landed on Earth 65 million years ago. Check out the trailer. I'm super excited for this film. It's going to be.
I
awesome.
want to be. I can't. I can't yet.
I can't suck.
Why?
Can't suck.
I don't know. It just seems like a terrible concept, but I could be wrong. I hope I am. I mean, Adam
It's
Driver
refreshing
is
though.
Fantastic. Dinosaurs are always fun to watch. So, I hope it's good. I am cautiously optimistic. Actually, optimistic is probably too strong a word, but yeah, I'm not. This one's not really on my radar.
Oh, it's on my radar. And honestly, if there's anything that we know about United States citizens, it's that we fucking love dinosaurs.
Yeah,
and we're getting dinosaurs, and we're getting Adam Driver. And I love that in the preview, you don't even know that that's what the movie is because they even tease it and build it up in the trailer.
Yep.
That you don't know until the end of the trailer. I thought they did a beautiful job.
I don't know. See, to me, again, to your point that you don't really know what it's about, or the first time you watch the trailer. I don't know. To me, the first time I watched the trailer, I thought it looked just like a very generic sci-fi movie. There was really nothing that that got my interest. And then, the whole dinosaur concept. Yeah, I don't know. This is going to be a wait and see for me.
No, and that's fine. I mean, you're allowed to be wrong. It's no big deal. So
calling it now. 6.2.
Are we still talking about your movie score? What else you got, Kyle?
I think we can all universally agree here. Mario Brothers.
Oh,
let's go.
Oh,
let's take the kids.
Oh yeah, man. I mean,
that might be a multiple time viewing.
I'm still not sold as Chris
Take the
Pratt
kids after.
So Rich is clearly taking the devil's advocate.
I think overall the movie looks fantastic. I'm excited. That's definitely going to be an opening weekend. Take the kids. I think it's going to be well done. I like Chris Pratt. I'm not sold on him as
you like Chris Pratt.
Yes. So, and this can be a discussion for another show, but he's another one of these guys like Ryan Reynolds, The Rock. They play the same character in every movie they're in. They play themselves. And that's good. But, speaking of fatigue, I'm a little bit tired of seeing The Rock and Ryan Reynolds and Chris Pratt playing themselves in every single role that they're in. So there's that.
I think there's a big difference between The Rock and his roles versus Chris Pratt. I mean, The Rock literally plays The Rock. I don't think Chris Pratt plays Chris Pratt. I mean, I think
he does. I think he's now been typecast as Chris Pratt.
I mean, I think Chris Pratt would disagree with you.
Well, but that's fine.
There is a sentiment about that, Rich. I'll give you that.
To your point, Chris Pratt would be entitled to his own wrong opinion, but
so first of all, I want to, this is an important comment. Wahoo! I mean, you say you hate Chris Pratt as Mario. He nails that in the trailer.
I didn't say that.
Yeah, you did. The undertones were there.
Hey guys, do we pregame with the 1993 classic or what? Before the movie, rewatching 93 or what?
I mean, I'll rewatch the series. I'll rewatch the series.
Yeah, the Super Mario Brothers Super Show.
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh,
I remember watching that as a kid, man. I remember that.
That's where it all started. We got quite a few people chat watching. Definitely let us know we're here. Let us know your thoughts. Drop your opinions in chat so we can call you out here. What else you got, Kyle? So we got Super Mario Brothers. I'm psyched. I can't wait. Mario, if there's one thing, okay, there's one thing from my gaming past that I can't shake, it's Super Mario. It's the sound effects, it's the color schemes, it's the world, it's everything about it. And the fact that we're finally getting a truly beautifully animated Mario Brothers movie.
Chef's kiss, baby.
I am here for it all day.
Yeah. I mean, Mario popped everyone's video game cherry, so yeah, I mean, it's going to be an amazing flick.
Agreed.
For sure.
You had a few others on your list.
A few others. Speaking of franchise fatigue, we got John Wick 4. Did we need that? Did we need that?
Yeah.
Rich,
did we need that?
Rich.
Yeah, I mean,
I don't think so.
I enjoy the John Wick movies. I certainly don't think they've overstayed their welcome. As long as this is pretty much the end of it, I'm good. They haven't been coming at us at a rapid clip. It hasn't been one every year. It's been a couple years between them. Mm-hmm. And I think that's exactly the right pace. That's exactly how to do a franchise correctly, where, movies and spinoffs aren't coming out once or even twice a year. So yeah, I'm excited for John Wick. And by all accounts, this seems to be the, kind of the closing chapter, which if so, hopefully it goes out on top.
You know what the closing chapter should have been, Rich? When he fell off that building. That should have ended it. That should have just ended it, dude. Just ended right there.
I mean, and not only did he fall off that building, he ate shit on the way down and hit every brick and every little awning in front of those windows. He literally nailed everything on the way down. It was one of the most violent falls I've ever seen. Yeah, like, was that necessary at all?
Yo, you ever seen the scene from Meet Joe Black when he's getting hit by the cars, man?
Yes, it's pretty much reminded me of that.
Just what the hell?
It pretty much reminded me of that. It was brutal. But I'm with Rich. I'm all for another John Wick. I think, again, like we talked about before, it's a fine line, right? I think we're getting towards that line. Like we're getting close, but I don't know as though we're there yet. I don't think we're fatigued yet. I don't think the general consensus is that people are fatigued yet. And that's the thing, man. Like, it's a really fine line because I feel like you almost have to hit that line or even step over it before you actually know if it's time. That's just how I feel. And I think John Wick, it's not there yet. And I'm still
soak the money, man.
I'm still in. Like, give me another one. Yeah. Give me another one after that if they do this one right. Like,
I mean, Matrix 4 was not great.
Well, Matrix 4 was a steaming pile of shit.
Yep.
It was not.
We even saw that at home on HBO Max for free, and I still felt shitty about it.
That was rough.
It was rough. Now you haven't even mentioned. This is your time, Kyle.
Yeah. Oh, we're getting there.
Oh, okay. Well, you're building up to it.
I got a path. I'm gonna do something for the nerds out there. I saw the trailer for it and Ant-Man, Dungeons and Dragons. What you guys think of the trailer?
Good. I'm excited.
I played a little D&D. I tested the waters. We played a little bit with Donnelly, actually, who, as you guys have noticed, he's not on the show. Donnelly is not feeling well tonight, but he will be back next Monday. Donnelly, if you're watching, hope you feel better. A lot of like stomach bugs going around right now in this area, and so hope he feels better. But he actually used to host a Dungeons and Dragons night at his place. And a couple of us went over there, did a little bit of a campaign. Same with Dan Woods, who's also in the chat. Yes to D&D, absolutely. Well wishes from all your fans
better, my guy.
Here, Donnelly.
So I am excited.
I'll pour one out for you
for the D&D movie. It's going to be tricky. The thing that makes D&D great is that everyone's experience is different. Every game, every campaign is different. So, this movie is probably not going to satisfy everyone. Even if it objectively is a good movie, there's undoubtedly going to be some naysayers. So it'll be curious to see how that shakes out. But I'm very excited.
I'm excited more so, like, not even just for the D&D movie, but I'm excited at the possibility of like a Magic the Gathering movie. Like, I play Magic the Gathering pretty frequently. I've been a fan for a long time, and like, there is so much subject matter there for a great movie. Like I'm hoping, I'm like, all right, I want the D&D movie to succeed so that we can then say, okay, well, this worked. Now maybe a
Right.
Magic the Gathering movie can too.
Right, because if it's wildly successful, then you're going to have
Of course.
copycat franchises.
Yep, absolutely.
So for sure.
Well, we're gonna jump right into my love letter, baby.
Oh boy.
Scream.
Your love letter to
6.
Wes Craven.
Scream 6.
Oh.
Dude, who's coming with me?
So talk
coming with
about.
me?
So Dan, real quick before we get to that, MTG movie needs to happen, and Wizards of the Coast is so greedy. I'm surprised it's not already out yet. Yes, 100% agree. Scream 6 here. We're talking
New York.
franchise.
Big Apple.
Yeah, what happened when Jason went to Manhattan? Do you remember?
For the Muppets.
What happened then?
Punch the guy's head off.
Yeah, but what happened? That movie sucked. And I'm
Tell me how you really feel.
movie sucked. Franchise fatigue. You want to talk franchise fatigue? The last 3 Screams didn't need to come out. The first movie was so good, and if you want to make a sequel, right? Like
You
they
watch
did.
Ability every Halloween.
Well, you're a weirdo with what you watch, and like you're like, oh, I only watch horror movies around Halloween time, and we've broken that.
Get the vibe.
Proud of you. But like for me, it's like, okay, Scream 1, great movie. In my opinion, I thought it was great. Scream 2 was solid. It was a solid sequel. Give it some time. Like they could have waited.
It should have ended with the original trilogy.
I mean, the third
Scream
one.
3 should have been.
The third one was
should have been
horrible, though.
Scream 3 got Columbine, unfortunately.
What do you mean by that?
So they were going to have a great script. It was actually going to have Matthew Lillard return as Stu. He was going to orchestrate a lot of high school killings, and it was almost going to be like that show The Following with Kevin Bacon back in 2013, where they weren't really all dead, and it was all just a cult, and it was going to be great, but they didn't want to see high school murders fresh off of Columbine. So they changed it to Hollywood, and not a lot of gore, not a lot of blood, not a lot of violence. So it was forever altered for the worst, and Kevin Williamson didn't even write that one.
Really?
He had
I didn't
scheduling
know
conflict.
that.
Nope.
I
didn't even write it.
Yeah,
He did not write it.
Great.
Wes directed, Kevin didn't write. Then the Weinsteins, drink to that one. I really wanted to push Scream 4.
You drinking of that one? Whew. Oh boy.
I need a drink after that. Brought Scream 4, 2011, trash, kind of wanted what they wanted to do with Scream 3. They felt time was there, but not a great film. And it was Wes's last film, R.I.P.
That was his last love letter?
Yep. That was his last love letter.
Wes was looking for it?
Yep. And then definitely was looking for it. And then years later, obviously everything went down with Weinstein. Then the rights went to Paramount and Spyglass took over. They brought in Williamson to consult. Scream 5 was awesome in my opinion. 11 years later, and again we have a year later sequel, just like Scream 2 from Scream 1.
And the Epstein Island, that didn't affect Scream 5 or anything, or?
I don't think so. I don't think Epstein was involved. I don't know.
Well, you were going on and on about Harvey Weinstein.
I mean, well,
where you were headed, bud. Didn't know if you were looking for it or not.
You got Ghostface on the island. What's going on?
Oh my god!
But,
so yeah,
bro, Big Apple though, sign me up. It's gonna be a fresh take.
When I saw Ghostface holding it, like shooting a gun,
he's got the shotgun.
Like, come on, man.
In the bodega.
Come on, man.
Yeah, I think we're over this franchise.
Ghostface in the bodega.
Yeah, this I'm happy for you that you're so excited, but I've had enough of Scream. If I have to hear like "Hello, Sydney" one more time, like.
Fun fact: Sydney's not in this one.
I know.
Contractual dispute.
Yeah, that should tell you something. If Nev Campbell ain't agreeing to another Scream movie, I mean
she was there for Weinstein, but she's not there for this. What? Come on.
That should tell you something.
That should tell you something.
That should tell you to maybe stay home.
That's telling me.
Maybe stay home.
Maybe.
But what do you think? I mean, when we look back, I mean, there's a lot of good stuff coming out. When we look
Guardians
back,
Guardians in May.
Yep.
They got to bring the heat a little better than Ant-Man did.
I said that about Quantumania, though. I mean, we all said that. Like, oh,
you speak to ants.
It's Phase 5. It's the kickoff of Phase 5. They've got to come out swinging here. Like, it's got to be good. They're got to blow the doors off, right? And it just
How many holes do you have?
it just did. Oh my god, that was okay. So that guy was hilarious. I really
It's like a
like.
Weinstein question. Jesus.
Oh my god.
All right.
Yeah, I think we're good on Weinstein. I think we're good. Beat that horse.
We were
Moving
good
on
on
from
Weinstein after the first mention.
But yeah, no, not the way to start off. But I think Guardians, and it's going to be great because Gunn's exit to DC, exit stage right. He's got to go out with a bang, right? Like Gunn's got to bring a love letter to the fans. So I did that on purpose. But I'm excited.
Every time he says love
Chris
letter,
Pratt.
you need to put him on mute.
Chris Pratt could own the spring here.
5-minute mute.
Chris Pratt could own the spring here, and I'm ready.
Much to Rich's chagrin.
I didn't say I disliked Chris Pratt. I very much enjoy Chris Pratt. I think
You basically
I
said
think
you wish he was never born.
not so many, not so many words. Essentially, yes. That was exactly.
Yeah,
what
you
I was
might have
saying,
used.
clearly.
You might have just said die. But
You're an Everwood fan, but
I am looking forward to Guardians.
how do you hate that face?
Oh, I don't hate it. In fact,
Well, just let it be known. Just let it be known. Rich Zampino hates Chris Pratt. Oh,
what do we think about Fast X?
Good call out. I don't want to talk about
That's in
Fast
August.
Fast
You
and
don't
the
wanna talk Fast
Furious. That is one that is.
Jason Momoa.
I'm so fatigued
What?
that I
Is
could
that
be
Momoa?
asleep. I could be asleep right now if I was any more fatigued from the Fast and the fucking Furious franchise.
You
Jesus.
gotta watch out for all your family.
yeah, I
You
think
don't know where their
that's
family
one that
is.
needs to be laid to rest. I mean,
They just
I
threw
think.
him in that Fast Five scene. Like what?
I mean,
Retcon?
thankfully, I think they're
Shoehorn.
winding it down. But I mean, in the last one, they literally went into space. That was, I think that was.
Yeah, you
where
know
do you go
what's
from
funny
there?
about that?
Where do you go from space?
You know what's funny about that? So I'm talking to our mutual friend Brian, right? Not Donnelly, different Brian, and he's a fan of the Fast franchise. And I'm like, dude, it's getting to a point where like this is getting so exaggerated. Like I'm expecting them fully in the next one to like be driving and racing cars in space. And he's like, he stops me in my tracks, and he's like, yeah, well, that just happened in this one. And I was like, no way did that happen. And then I don't know. I can't do it.
Maybe they'll go to the quantum realm. Who knows?
Yeah,
Sky's the
I mean,
limit.
going into space is usually, that signifies the death of a franchise. Look, Leprechaun in space, Jason X.
Jason
Yeah.
X was horrible.
Yeah.
But I want to make a call out real quick here. Tyler Cohen, Seth Rogen's TMNT. Is that this
August. August. Yep. August.
So I'll be honest. I was really excited. I still am
Rogan's
excited.
involved.
Yeah, I mean, I'm still very excited because let's face it, like TMNT is in all of our blood. Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I mean, God's sakes, I think my mother is watching this in the chat still. She can tell you what their living room floor looked like growing up. I mean, there was literally Ninja Turtles all over the floor. And then every other day or so, my father would come walking out in the carpet and step on like Splinter's or something. And all I would hear would be, hey, Timmy, you should come over here and clean up all your men. Go pick up all your men. Called them men, not turtles. Pick up your men. So I'm excited for Turtles, but after I saw the original concept art, or not even concept art, I think it's just what they actually look like. I'm not like
it's like Nickelodeon vibes, like New Age.
It's not Nickelodeon vibes. It's I don't know. It's kind of too.
We're like, get off my lawn right now.
I hate to
think so.
to use the term like kiddish, but because look at what we're talking about here.
Yeah.
So like it does feel. I mean, I'm about to use the word kiddish, and I collect action figures as a 36-year-old male. So
I'm with you, dude.
But it does right.
Yeah.
Like it does feel just a little kiddish. I don't know.
Just that
But
Nickelodeon
better than
era.
the Michael Bay produced Turtles movies. So
Okay, well, I'm glad you brought that up.
yeah,
So I just recently rewatched those.
they're not good.
Okay, well, I'm going to challenge you a bit. The first one is not good.
Right.
The
Right.
The
Basically,
second one is
because of,
better. It's still not
Shredder.
good.
The second one was, I don't think it was just better. Like
It's
I
okay.
would dare
It's
say,
okay.
it was fantastic.
No,
I was entertained. It's just they were
I
trying to set up a
really-
trilogy way too hard.
I
They gave us Krang.
really enjoyed that movie.
I
Like
mean,
way more than I should have. I get it.
I'm with you,
I mean,
dude.
it's not
I'm with you, dude.
bad, but they're still not great movies. I mean, the design of the turtles is pretty awful.
I wish he did.
Yeah, sorry, Chris Nolan isn't doing Ninja Turtle. Yeah, I wish. I mean,
He should.
you want to talk trilogies? That's one of the greatest trilogies of all time, in my opinion, is that Dark Knight trilogy. Go ahead, Rich.
All right.
You want to argue against that?
He can't.
Are
It
you
didn't-
really shrugging that, saying like you don't think so?
It didn't stick the landing.
Okay. First of all, what's your issue with Dark Knight Rises?
Ooh.
I don't think it was
Hot
that
seat.
good.
What wasn't good about it? What didn't you like?
It became a very generic superhero movie. You know, the previous two movies were very anti superhero tropes. And then all of a sudden in the third movie, you know, they start shoehorning in, you know, like all these characters and villains. It just became a little too comic booky. I mean, the scene in the stadium with the earthquake, and you know, it went from really gritty, realistic to again, just kind of a very generic superhero movie. Not to say that it was bad, but you know, it didn't quite stick the landing. So again, you know, not to take what I say and twist it. You know, I still think it was an excellent overall trilogy, but it could have been better. It didn't stick the landing. The third movie
Rich,
wasn't
what didn't stick
as
the
good
landing
as
behind you?
the two.
That's what I want to
What's
know.
that?
What didn't stick the landing behind you just there? Is that your cat?
How about that pussy in Backy? It didn't stick the landing.
Yeah.
It
I
got
hear it.
9 lives. Heard about Catwoman. You know, didn't like it.
Yeah.
Didn't like
There
it.
you go.
No, man, I'm very passionate about this, and I feel like I should be like the poster boy for defending Dark Knight Rises, because here's the deal. We all know The Dark Knight was fantastic. We all know Heath Ledger crushed it as the Joker. We get it.
That's an
We get it.
understatement.
Yeah, crushed it. Fantastic
for it.
Joker. You could argue that he's the best ever. I disagree with that too, but you could argue he's the greatest ever. I get it. I'm not going to fault you for that. But think about this for a second. If Heath Ledger, and I genuinely believe this, if he didn't die in the way that he did, getting in character for the Joker and doing all the
method.
drugs and this and that, like, listen, man, it's like when a lead singer of a band dies and all of a sudden they're catapulted to legendary status. It's like Heath Ledger's Joker and that movie, I feel like, was put on such a pedestal. And granted, it deserves to be on a pedestal.
It's a fantastic movie.
It's a fantastic movie.
That was an
But
event.
it created a situation where that The Dark Knight Rises could not survive. It's the third movie in the franchise. Is there ever a situation where the third movie in the franchise, outside of Return of the Jedi, right? Outside of Return of the Jedi, where the number 3 movie holds up? No.
Turtles 3. No. Definitely not.
Stop.
Definitely.
No way.
Definitely not.
But it was already an
Don't
uphill
post it.
battle. It was already an uphill battle being number 3. Then you couple that with the fact that it was coming off the heels of the Joker and Heath Ledger's performance and an amazing movie in its own right. Dark Knight Rises was still fantastic. And I feel
Bane
like
still gets quoted today.
Bane, and I mean, you forget who he was before he put on the mask. But honestly, I don't get the hate, and I hear it all the time. Everyone just slams that movie every chance they get. And
I didn't say it was a bad movie. There's
said
no
it didn't
hate.
stick the landing, meaning they.
I don't think it
they
did.
should have done
I
something
don't
different.
think it was as good as the 2 previous movies. And you're also, you know, you're not mentioning Batman Begins. Batman Begins was a fantastic movie. I think
I like The Dark Knight Rises better than Batman Begins.
we are definitely going to have to agree to disagree on that point for sure.
Yes.
I think
Becky
Batman
just made a
Begins
good
is
call out here.
far superior movie.
Disagree. Becky just made a great call. Indiana Jones and the Last Crusade. in my opinion, I think that's the best Indiana Jones movie. So
Agreed. I will
think
agree with you on that.
that's a good. There we go. There we go. Cheers. Cheers. All I can say is, do you feel in control? Anyway, let's move on. This isn't a show about Batman. Maybe next week. Ooh, Becky has my back. Agreed. Batman Begins was the worst in that franchise. Thank you. Thank you.
Katie Holmes coming.
Yeah, Katie Holmes looks like she hasn't slept every time I see her. She looks tired. Like,
I think Tom Cruise wore out back then, jumping on the couch.
maybe. I mean, she just looks like she hasn't slept in a week. Like, she's either taking too much Ambien or needs to take it Ambien. I can't figure out which one it is, but I really can't. So this just popped in. So I had an issue with my furnace in my place today, and had to have a maintenance guy come and look at it.
Came in.
Well, man, this is totally off topic, but the guy, he's a maintenance guy, right? He's here to work on my furnace. He shows up in like a hatchback Honda, like a Honda Civic hatchback or whatever it is. I don't even know what it was. Like, is it just me? Or like, I just immediately said to myself, there's no way in hell that this guy's going to fix this. You can't, as a maintenance guy, pull up and not be in a truck. Like, I just don't understand. Like, would you trust a maintenance guy that doesn't drive a truck?
A little shifty.
I mean, immediately, I hated it. Immediately. I immediately hated it. Yeah, I'm not knocking the maintenance guy, but Mike drives a truck. He drives a truck. Yeah, and I feel like that should be the minimum.
It's part of the uniform. It's part of the uniform.
Right? Like, that's the minimum requirement. Like, you've got it. Like, where are you putting your tools? In the trunk of your car next to your tiny little donut? Like, I don't know. It just didn't sit with me right. So I'm not expecting my furnace to work. Let's just put it that way.
Have a cold night, bud.
Well, thankfully it's going to be spring soon, and
something's going to go wrong. He's like, "Oh,
heat.
Don't worry about the gas smell. I had to bleed the line." I'm like, "Right, okay."
Oh,
says you and
you're
your
gonna make it
Toyota
next
Prius
week's episode, bud.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I could be getting the fumes right now.
You looking for it?
I'm not looking for those fumes. So obviously, I mean, when you talk about franchise fatigue, there's a couple ways you can go with this. Like, what do you think? We're gonna rank, first of all, just so you know what the end of the show is gonna look like here in a few minutes. We're gonna rank our top 3 each, and we're going to do one honorable mention. So essentially top 4 each.
I wish we had more.
Yeah, well, you know, we don't want us. I do have a carbon monoxide detector, Tara. I'll be all right. So
yeah, I'm concerned now.
No, don't be concerned. The world's all going to hell anyway. So
Rich, the new host next week, or
we're gonna be ranking our top 3 franchises, and this can be movies, this can be shows that did it right, that went out at the right time, that did it right. They didn't overstay their welcome. Okay, they came, they delivered, and then they left. And it's a tough thing to do. It's a tough balance, and that's what we're going to rank tonight. Top 3 with an honorable mention. But before we get to that, what do you think are the biggest offenders right now of franchise fatigue? Kyle.
The first thing that comes to mind to me, and I think they're planning on doing another one, is the Terminator franchise, like Dark Fate. Like, that was very bad.
I actually agree.
Even the one before.
No,
Genesis,
the one before was okay.
Trash.
No, that was okay. I didn't hate that one.
Terminator shouldn't just be okay, right? Like, you had
should have ended
the greatest sequel of all time.
It should have ended after 2.
Right? Yeah.
Yep.
And they're talking about doing more of them. Like, ugh. So that's one of the biggest ones that I think about.
Olive Garden.
Olive Garden?
Stop.
Yo, that slaps, though.
Olive Garden does slap. Olive Garden does slap. I hadn't had it in years, and this guy,
Me neither.
this guy right here was like, "Oh man, have you been to Olive Garden recently?"
It's the McDonald's of Italian
He's
food.
telling it to me. Oh, Olive Garden slaps, bro, and he's using the word slaps, which I'm like, okay, slaps, okay.
That should have cued you in right there to just everything that
Hey,
followed. You should have just
well,
ignored.
That
I
tour
will
of Italy,
say-
boss.
I will say one thing. I took the tour of Italy. I had the breadsticks, I had the Alfredo sauce, and it slapped.
It did slap.
Mm.
It slapped. And so did the Zuppa Toscana soup. That slapped. Zuppa
Yeah.
Toscana. So
Zuppa
anyway,
Toscana.
little Olive Garden plug. Thank you guys for all the great work that you guys do. So Terminator, yeah, should have ended at 2. Rich, what do you got? What biggest offenders?
Oh well, I mean, I think Marvel is the number one.
But isn't that by design though?
Well, whether it's by design or not, the fatigue is a legitimate concern, and I think there's too many movies, too many Disney Plus TV shows. It's all very quantity over quality at this point. I mean, as you know, Phase 4 and now with Phase 5 beginning, there are very few. Yeah, there are very few bright spots. So,
I mean, here's the deal. It's tough when you think of like DC, Marvel, Star Wars, because like by design, these are such deep universes. You know what I mean? Like where there's a lot they need to cover. There's so much they haven't even touched on. But like
it's that Disney effect, man.
I think where the fatigue comes in is what we talked about earlier was like the timing where everything was kind of on hold. And then they started pushing stuff out. I mean, we had like
that's a valid point.
Miss Marvel and She-Hulk and Thor: Love and Thunder, and right before that was Multiverse of Madness. Like it's like bang, 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 like just one after the other after the other. So I think where the fatigue comes in isn't like the sheer volume of what they're doing. Like I fully expect and hope and pray and want more Marvel, but like I think it needs to be done in a more tasteful way. I think Star Wars actually gets it right. With when they actually push out new shows, new movies, that sort of thing. I mean, they keep you waiting, years until a new trilogy comes out. And when it does, they even space those out every couple of years. So I think if Marvel does, and I don't remember who it was within Marvel, but somebody actually called attention to it last week or the week before and said, like, we understand, like, we're going to change our formula of the Disney Plus series and the frequency of movies. And make things more meaningful and impactful. So I appreciate
it. It was Kevin Feige.
It was right, Feige.
Yeah.
Jesus. Yes.
Take another
All right. Are we ready to get into our rankings, boys?
Let's do it.
All right. Who wants to start? We're going to go in.
Kyle does.
As always, descending order. So we're going to start with our honorable mention and work our way up to our top 3. So first honorable mention, and again, as a reminder, we are ranking the franchises out there. Could be series, could be movies that did it right, that came in, gave us what we needed, delivered fantastic entertainment, and didn't overstay their welcome, didn't go on and make Fast and the Furious 10s, those franchises. So honorable mention, what do you got, Kyle?
I'm going to, just because it's topical too right now, with Hogwarts Legacy, I'm going to say the Harry Potter franchise. Now, it didn't get the podium position. I know you hate that word. But the reason
did it get a love letter?
Okay, a love letter.
We're going to beat that one right into the ground, huh?
We are. The reason it doesn't get there, because obviously, it was sticking to the books. Now, I give them credit because they were a money-making machine. They could have gone outside of the books, a la Game of Thrones, but they didn't. They just stayed to the source material, cashed in, cashed out. Perfect time, a decade of magic for us fans. So I'm going with Harry Potter.
Man, I agree. Like, that almost made my list, and I'm not a Harry Potter fan, but like they did it right.
They did.
They really did.
Tonal shifts. It just, the arcs, it was great, man. They did a great job for a solid decade.
Bagel Cookies agrees.
You guys playing the game?
Haven't yet.
I got a couple boys who are
going
deep in
going
there.
to.
Loving it. Yeah.
Yep. Rich, honorable mention. Cheers. Honorable mention. What do you got?
Cheers.
Dread. One and done.
Oh, you're giving it a
man.
one and done. Is that a franchise if it's a one and done? Oh,
Yeah. Well, I mean, no. New Dread with Carl Urban.
All right.
Yeah.
Gotcha. But
I mean, I would have
right?
liked to have seen additional movies in the franchise because I think he did a fantastic job. But as it stands, yeah, one and done. So that's my honorable mention. I know I'm kind of cheating because there was only one movie in the series.
You cheated last week. Yeah, at 2 when you're supposed to have 1.
Well,
this week you're supposed to do a franchise. Just pick one with 1. I mean, I wouldn't expect anything less out of you, Rich. Mine's way off the walls here, and I know you guys aren't going to see this one coming. But I'm going with Austin Powers.
Okay. In
my opinion, all 3 of those movies were absolute gold.
Wow.
They were hilarious. They still hold up today. And they could have, the amount of cheesiness in those movies, right? They could have so easily done like 5 more. And they didn't. And I respect it. And the near miss, since we're all cheating here, the one that this reminds me of is The Naked Gun, which was a real close honorable mention. The Naked Gun. He had Naked Gun 2.5, 33 and a third.
Juice Man.
They could have kept going, and they didn't.
They should have stopped after the second one.
Naked Gun?
Yeah.
Oh, 33 and a third. 33 and a third is better than the second one.
Awful.
OJ.
Oh, so I agree with your original assessment with Austin Powers, but not with the Naked Gun franchise.
About 6'2", mustache, awfully big mustache.
Those were classics. I didn't even think about that, dude.
I was thinking about it. Yes.
Smoking
a pancake, piping a crepe.
Mike Myers, man.
Yeah, just don't watch. Dan, help me out. What's it called? Dan Woods, I need you. What's his show called on Netflix? Mike Myers' new show. Oh, it was the worst thing I've ever seen in my life, and I was so
worse than the Love Guru.
Oh, Love Guru wasn't that bad, but this was way worse than Love Guru. I can't think of whatever the series is. They're Pantaveret, the Pantaveret on Netflix. Do not watch 30. Don't even watch a second of that. It is the worst. It's terrible. But that's my honorable mention. Back to you, Kyle, and we are now getting into number 3.
All right, so we're going to switch over to television. It might sound crazy that it's not number 1 because it is the GOAT show of all time, but The Sopranos, 1999 to 07, 6 seasons, part 1 and 2, technically 7, but 6. Faded to black, man. Like, it's the greatest show of all time. They went out in a divisive way, but it's the greatest ever. And again, it only got 6 seasons. They could have kept that going, man. Like, they really could have. But yeah, that show changed television forever. Gave us premiere television, Sunday night event television. He dies at the end. It's been confirmed from Chase. But yeah, great show. I thought my TV set went out right
this
at
was
the end.
Supposed to be spoiler free. There could be people that haven't seen that.
If you haven't seen Sopranos by now, then I don't give a shit. So, greatest show ever. But it's number 3 in my book.
I agreed that it was the greatest show ever. I'm going to leave it at that.
The movie was crap. That prequel, I don't know what that was.
Well, the second half of that movie was good. Like, you're talking about, what's the name of it?
Many Saints of Newark.
Many Saints of Newark.
Yeah, I haven't really watched it.
The second half where he became a teen, that was really good. And the end of the movie was really good. And I kind of hope they do another one because I think the second one will be way better than the first because it was too much young Tony. But the second, the last half hour of that movie was so good. But the first hour was just terrible. Did you see that one, Rich?
No, I didn't.
Although Uncle June killed it. Uncle June killed it. Falling down the steps.
He did. I just got a full mouthful of General Tso's chicken. Apologize. Wow.
Ooh.
Woo.
Ooh.
Yeah, went pretty went ham on some Chinese food tonight. But Rich, what do you got for number 3?
James Bond. I think I think that's a franchise that's been around since I think 1963 was the first movie, Dr. No. Inevitably there was going to be additional movies, but as of right now, the franchise as we have currently seen it with Daniel Craig is done and over with. I think it went out on a high note. The last movie in the franchise,
it's not done and over with, though.
Well, with Daniel Craig, it is.
With Daniel Craig, it is. Yes.
Yeah.
Right. Bond's gonna go to.
So James Bond is my number 3.
You know what's funny is like I didn't really think of that to even put on my list because there's so many. And like while I appreciate the Daniel Craig movies, I don't love them. I think
Quantum of Solace was a definite victim of that writer's strike back in 07-08. That movie was terrible.
It was bad.
Right?
It was bad. Skyfall was good.
Skyfall was great. Had Home Alone vibes. But Casino Royale, man, when they came out in 06, they brought the heat, dude. They brought the heat.
They did bring the heat. I'll give you that.
He's getting his balls hit. I felt that.
Yeah, for sure.
Oh yeah, man, I was like, I can't watch the scene.
Yeah, it was bad.
One. They had to switch up the script a little bit though with the pandemic, with the virus. I think that affected the quality of the last one a little bit. Yeah.
Yeah, apparently it's been affecting everything.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Weird.
They had to change it up a little bit.
Yep. My number 3 is, and Kyle, you hate on the third movie here. Don't care. You need to rewatch it. But Back to the Future.
Yeah. I purposely didn't go with them because that third movie, terrible.
You say that, but you have not.
Sequel ever.
You haven't.
The future.
You haven't seen it. You haven't seen it in so long.
I haven't seen it in so long.
The third movie is not bad.
This is coming from the same guy who said Ghostbusters 2 wasn't worth a watch, and then you watched it and your entire opinion changed.
That's also incorrect, obviously.
Why did they need to go to 1885? Why? Why did they need to go to the West? Tell me.
Just go watch it. Go and watch it.
They needed to go there.
And then report back. That's your homework.
You went back. Then you went to the future. You're good.
No.
Hot take sequel is better than the original.
I disagree. There's few movies where the sequels are better than the original. Like Home Alone 2, definitely better than the first one. Terminator 2, another one. We could go down this rabbit hole all night. But Back to the Future is my number 3.
Yeah. You just got the almanac, right? You got the almanac.
Got the almanac. Yeah, I should have brought it over here on camera.
Head over to Rivers right now, boss.
Yeah.
That almanac.
Yeah, right. I think it ends a little before now, though. But Back to the Future. I thought all 3 movies were great, and they stand up in their own right. And obviously, like the first and second are spectacular. The third one's good. I wouldn't say it's spectacular, but it wasn't a letdown. In the end of the third one, I mean, you know what I'm talking about, Rich.
I guess I got to rewatch it.
Third movie is definitely underrated.
It is very underrated, but that's my number 3. Kyle, number 2.
All right. I'm going to give a bit of controversy. I'm kind of mad that we talked about it a little earlier, but I am saying Christopher Nolan's Dark Knight franchise within the franchise counts. And that was phenomenal. His whole journey from vigilante right up to the end. You had obviously Heath Ledger right in the middle. Like it was just perfect. I do believe it stuck the landing, Rich. Say what you will.
It did.
That the Batman franchise is still ongoing. But I don't know, man. Nolan's Dark Knight trilogy, like, fire from start to finish.
Solid call. And we did talk pretty in depth about Batman.
We talked.
I'm gonna throw a flag here. I'm gonna blow the whistle, and I gotta
throw a flag.
Not to that. I gotta respond to the chat. I gotta respond to a few things here because this.
Respond. Yes, take the time.
It's bugging me. So we got Megan is saying that you're way off base with the Home Alone take. Tara, Zach.
I'm glad someone else said that.
Home Alone 2 was great, and then Home Alone #1 was best. Here's the deal.
Agreed.
We've talked about this too.
Yeah,
so
and
go ahead.
I'm going to make it very clear, okay? Home Alone 1, okay, was first of all at home. Not that exciting. It was the first introduction
Literally
into
the name of the movie.
It was the first
Hot
introduction
take.
to Harry and Marv, and the main villain we got was an old man with a shovel, okay? That's the movie in a nutshell.
True.
Now
True.
let's take a trip into Home Alone 2 where you've got I don't know, Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Tim Curry.
Yeah.
Okay. You've got Rob Schneider. Okay.
Oh man.
Asking for the tip. You've got the whole staff sitting down on their knees saying I love you, and Cliff yelling out, "It's a lie." You got the bird lady. You've got the bird lady getting thrown on Marv, him screaming his ass off while the pigeons attack the living shit out of him. You've got him electrocuting himself and screaming even more. You've got a way more elaborate trap system inside of this house. You've got your very own cheese pizza. You've got Mr. Duncan and Duncan's toy chest. You've got the turtle doves. You've got
So
all
how
of
do you
it.
feel about Home Alone 2?
It's not even close. And the fact that people think otherwise is offensive.
Most people do.
You're leaving somebody out, buddy.
Who? Donald
Leaving
Trump?
somebody out. Yeah.
Yeah, Trump's in it. So there's that too, which I guess that could be why people
And the
hate
World
it.
Trade Center.
And the World Trade Center.
Yeah.
There's so much. And also, if I could do like the graphic of like sticky bandits greater than wet bandits.
Ooh.
Like when he's on the ice and he's got the tape wrapped around his hand and he's just grabbing articles of clothing and putting them on.
Okay.
Come on, man. Like, yes, thank you, Chris Hansen. And no, this is not How to Catch a Predator, Chris Hansen. Home Alone 2 by a mile.
I
Yes.
hope not.
Overkill. Disagree. Yeah. Look, I'm gonna get off my soapbox.
No, you got a lot of valid points, dude.
But Home Alone 2 by a mile. It's not even.
I'd watch 2 over 1. Right.
all day. I watch them both every Christmas. You just have to.
Yeah. Oh, you watch Christmas films on Christmas, just like I watch
No.
horror during October.
Yeah, you watch horror. You notice what you just said? You watch a movie genre, horror, around Halloween, not a Halloween genre on Halloween.
Okay. All right.
Christmas movies on
It's the
Christmas.
vibe.
I don't watch winter movies only on Christmas.
Is Batman
Anyway.
Returns a Christmas film?
No. And neither is Die Hard, and that has been confirmed by Bruce Willis himself. What are we on, number 2, Rich?
Yes.
Go ahead. What's your number 2?
Wolverine. So I know it's a kind of
Rich,
a
I thought about that.
within-
I thought about that.
yeah, that's
But Wolverine
I'm sure you
Origins was
did,
in it,
but-
so I couldn't.
I didn't catch that. You're smiling too loudly.
Wolverine
But yeah,
Origins was
you know,
in that. We couldn't.
it
I couldn't do it.
fumbled a little bit out of the gate. Obviously, the first movie was pretty much a disaster, but I think it more than compensated with the last 2 movies, especially with Logan.
I agree.
So
That's-
I
Logan went out on
don't
top.
think there was a better send off for the character than Logan. I think that was the perfect way to end the franchise and the characters of Logan and Professor X.
Yeah,
Rich
man.
loving the Titanic.
Any franchise, again within a franchise, but that had Wolverine Origins in it, I just couldn't choose them. For that reason alone.
Well, remember we were the list was franchises that went out on top, not started. on top.
Okay, fair.
Well,
I know that's why I said
I
it.
just looked, yeah. But
except
Logan was
except
a
one on
masterpiece.
your list was starting on top and going out on top because it was a singular movie. But
That was my honorable mention. All right, so I get a little bit of a pass there.
Okay.
All right.
there.
Now he's coming back. Deadpool 3.
And I guess
it'll be interesting to see
he's
how
like
they do that.
super jacked and like it's a big deal.
So
I
they
can't
must go
wait.
back in time. That's
And
the only
it's-
way that makes sense because
And it's rated R.
Yes, a Disney
First
R
R-rated
film.
film. First R-rated film.
Whew. That was
From
a big
Marvel
debate when
Studios.
Disney took over.
Yep.
What do they do with Deadpool? So I'm glad to see they're giving that hard R.
So my number two. Oh my God, Kyle. Go back to smiling loudly. So my number two is, in my opinion, and I think, and this is a series, it's not a movie, but 5 seasons, went out, it ended, the ending made sense, and you looked back on the whole series and you said, you know what, like, I can't poke holes in it.
Little low.
Now they did a spinoff. Okay, there is a spinoff, so you. But I think it's done in a tasteful way, and I'm going with, yeah, somebody got it. Breaking Bad.
Little low.
Yeah, I mean Breaking Bad. It's you were low. You were very low on one of yours. For the record, we're on the same page here.
It's a
Breaking
fantastic
Bad.
franchise.
Yeah, I think they perfected it. It was, they came, they saw, they conquered, they left us wanting more, didn't give it to us, and said, instead, we're going to give you the lawyer and Mike. And it works because Better Call Saul is great too.
100%. Yeah.
And it's different. It's not even close to the same type of show. It's like Better Call Saul is a spinoff, but it's not like a direct continuation of Breaking Bad.
Right.
Like, it's so different.
If you didn't know anything about Breaking Bad, you could watch Better Call Saul and enjoy it in its own right.
100%. Yep.
Yeah.
Agreed. So that's my number two. Now we're getting to number one. What do you got, Rich?
We already mentioned it. Harry Potter. Yeah.
That's your number one.
That is my number one. Yeah, I think after having spent all that time with those characters, that was the perfect way to end it. They didn't pull any punches. I think the tone was just right. The series grew up as the kids grew up, and it ended on a kind of dark and somber, more mature note. And I appreciated that. So yeah, that is my number one.
I respect it. I respect it.
And I don't count Fantastic Beasts as part of that franchise. Some do. I don't.
Same. Yeah, agreed.
Okay. I would be completely full of shit if I pretended to even know what Fantastic Beast was. No idea what you're talking about. But go on.
It's better off you don't.
I have no idea what that is. I know nothing. Just explain it to me like I'm a 5-year-old.
It's essentially a prequel series to Harry Potter, set quite a bit before the events of the movies. It's Dumbledore when he's younger, and just kind of some ancillary stories. It's not particularly good.
Explain it to me like I'm 3. No, I'm joking.
It's a prequel.
Kyle, number one, I can take a guess what it is.
Number one, man. You said it. You said it right at the beginning. 5 years, just mic drop. Like 5 years, you just came out the gate strong. You ended hot. And this show actually picked up steam kind of about halfway through its limited run. No one was watching AMC back then when it dropped in 2008. Unless you were watching Mad Men.
That's true. I forgot that was an AMC.
No one's watching AMC.
Wow.
That was Netflix's really first influence on the masses with streaming. Most think it's Orange is the New Black with streaming, but no, it was Breaking Bad running those initial seasons.
Interesting.
Then everyone caught up, binging. So you have a show that was only there for 5 years, like a goddamn comet. Half of the show you're catching up to on Netflix to catch up live. It was just a perfect storm. Like,
that's exactly what I did. That's exactly how
That's what I did too.
Yeah, I watched the entire series up till right before whatever the new, I think it was the 4th or 5th season. Watched it in like a week and a half.
Yep.
It changed how we watch television.
Yeah.
It really changed how we watch television.
Yeah, that was the first show that I remember, binging.
Mm-hmm. It's because it was. Yeah. But that now that I think about it, man, you got Better Call Saul. It kind of still went. But just looking at it as a whole, that was the number one right there, undisputed. Now some say The Wire is a better show, but I don't. I feel Breaking Bad was the better show. You had The Wire, same amount of seasons, 5 seasons.
Here's the deal, man. The Wire was a fantastic show, and it was also 5 seasons. The last season sucked. Okay, first of all, the last season was bad.
I think second season was worse.
It was worse.
By the docs.
They're both bad. Yeah, with Andy Belfour from True Blood.
that season, you came off of season 1 with the drug game. Everything was crazy. Then you're going to the docks.
Yeah,
going to the docks.
Yeah, Now I love The Wire. I love The Wire, but above Breaking Bad in good conscience, I just can't.
Just hot seasons 1 through 5. So
yeah, I mean, everybody's done all their rankings except me, right? Just my number one.
Yes.
Oh, okay.
Sorry if you were going to say The Wire.
No, I wasn't. My number one is pretty clear cut. So everybody just sit back and enjoy because.
Yep.
Woke up this morning, got yourself going. Mama always said you'd be there. Chosen ones, one in a million. You got to burn, shine. You were born under a bad sun, blue moon in your eye. Woke up this morning, all that love had gone. I never told you about right and wrong.
I think you guys get the hint.
Yeah, it could have easily been number one for me as well. It's the GOAT.
Could have easily been number one. It's the greatest series of all time. Okay, the greatest series of all time, period. It started it all. We wouldn't have Breaking Bad. We wouldn't have any of these shows if it wasn't for Sopranos. HBO Max probably wouldn't even be a thing, nor would premium channels. Okay, Sopranos is the quintessential number one. It was 6 seasons. They came in. They put out pure gold. Okay, the greatest show of all time. I will accept no other answer. Sopranos number one by a mile, and that's the only right answer.
Yeah, I can't fault you for that.
Right?
Didn't make my list, but I certainly won't fault you for that.
Yeah.
At all.
Yes. And that's that.
What? No fucking ziti?
Take off your hat. What is this? So let us know if you haven't caught it yet. We have a Facebook group. It's pretty fantastic. So anyone watching here,
a lot of energy in there. A lot of
yes,
a lot of great stuff. A lot of great content.
A lot of energy
every day.
Agreed. So if you're watching this live and you're not in that group, it's at Nerdstalgia Pod on Facebook, just like you can find us on all of our socials. Highly recommend joining the group. And there's a couple of reasons why I'm saying that. A, we've got plenty of topics and plenty of things that we've kind of planned out for future episodes here. However, there's no hard and fast, strict order that we want to do these. So we want feedback. So anything that you guys want to see us cover and give our awful opinions on, let us know in the Facebook group. Let us know in the comments. Obviously, if you're enjoying what you're seeing, please eviscerate the like button. If you're not already subscribed to the channel, please subscribe. It helps us out a lot with what we're trying to do here so we can keep this going. But join the group. Let us know. Let us know what you want us to discuss for topics on the show. Let us know what you want us to rank. And it can be something ridiculous that has nothing to do with what we're even...
We'll rank anything.
We will rank anything. Yes.
Literally anything.
I was going to make a terrible joke, but I'm just going to... No, I am not going to make that joke. One thing I do want to call out real quick, Tyler Cohen, Curb Your Enthusiasm, didn't even get a plug from Tim. Curb's still going.
Still going. They're doing one more.
It is still going, and I love Curb Your Enthusiasm.
It's the last true comedy out there.
I thought about too, but I think it went on like 2 seasons too long.
And the finale was terrible.
Yeah, it wasn't as bad as
so.
people crack it up to be, but like Curb Your Enthusiasm, I think is actually starting to go downhill. Where it seems like it's a little too forced. I love Curb, I love Larry David, but like I can't say that they came in left at the perfect times. That's the only reason I didn't mention it. But obviously, like I'm a diehard Curb. I love Larry David. He's my idol. If there's a short list of people that I'd love to like have a dinner and a beer with, it'd be him. How great would that be? But any final thoughts
Like
from
me and
you,
Bill Burr.
Rich?
No, I'm good. I think we covered everything we wanted to cover. Pretty happy. I know we disagreed on a couple things, but it's going to happen.
Yes, that's the beauty of it. Kyle, final thoughts.
Well, I'm really glad we didn't talk about The Last of Us because I haven't seen the most recent episode.
I haven't
Maybe
either. I'm
well,
behind.
okay.
This is
All
a spoiler-free podcast anyway, so you would have been all right.
Although Kyle
This is a safe space.
He just spoiled James Gandolfini's fate in a very recent series. So, but on that note, again,
it's been fun, guys.
Shameless plugs. I had a blast tonight, and I really appreciate everybody who was here live with us supporting the channel. Love the interaction and chat. Keep it coming. We're going to be here coming at you every Monday night at 9 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. We're having a blast. We hope you are too. And join the Facebook group. Like, subscribe, comment. Tell us what you think. If we suck, I want to know. If you want to hear something specific, I want to know. We want to know so that we can grow as a channel and give you guys what you want, because that's what we're here for, to bring us back to kind of the better times of our childhood. So let's keep this rocking. For Rich, for Kyle, I am Tim. And thank you all for joining us, and we will see you next Monday at 9 p.m. Have a great night.
Ooh, excellent outro.
Got yourself good. Mama always said you'd be there. Chosen one. She said, one in a million. You got to burn and shine. You don't remember a bad sign. Blue moon in your eye. When you woke up this morning, I'm on that love had gone. Your papa never told you about right and wrong. But you're looking good, baby. I believe that you're feeling fine. Shade my light, no remember a bad side. Blue moon in your eyes, just sing it now. You got a blue moon in your eyes.